Joining me now is Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, it is great to have you back on the Angle. It's been a while. Now, I know you've been constantly focused on this, and you've been with Vivek this week. What ideas have you given him, because he's looking to you for ideas, other than, of course, as we are saying, getting the federal workers back in the office?
One of my favorite examples of federal workers not showing up is a few years ago we had an assistant to the head of the EPA, and he told his boss that he also worked for the CIA, and so he would be gone for 6 months at a time. Finally, we had a shutdown, and someone called the CIA and said, "Hey, Mr. Smith, we understand works for you, but we haven't seen him in 6 months." And they said, "Who?" They'd never heard of the guy. The guy completely made up a story about working for the CIA. And for nearly a decade, millions of dollars was paid to this man, and he just wouldn't show up. And I always imagine him like out in his chaise lounge, drinking a beer, saying, "Yes, I'm on secret mission in the Middle East now. Can't talk," you know. But that kind of stuff runs rampant throughout government, so you can save money. Now, people say, oh, you can't balance a budget by making people go back to work. You certainly can start. When Elon Musk told the people at Twitter they would have to go back to work, a third of them quit. They're not used to work. When Elon Musk told them that when you come back to work, be prepared to do overtime, another third quit. So you can get rid of a lot of people, saves a lot of money. But ultimately, there are a lot of rules that protect federal workers, so you need to outsource things. I had it out with the Postmaster General the other day. They lost $6.5 billion 2 years ago. Last year, they lost $9.5 billion. The only way you can have better rules about making them work and show up is you have to outsource it. You can't keep hiring more government employees. You have to make them non-governmental employees.
And Senator, how difficult is that process? Because everybody knows that Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy are both brilliant individuals. They're extremely successful. Obviously, Elon's the richest in the world. But Washington is its own beast. So as smart as they are, what hurdles will they have to clear in order to get some of this stuff done? Because a lot of it will rest with you in Congress.
Right. One of the big things Elon did with SpaceX to get things cheaper was to go away from cost-plus contracts to competitive contracts. I think that can be done by the executive branch. I think they can lay off people, they can downsize, and they can go to competitive contracts. Is that going to balance the budget? Not alone. But I'm for getting rid of all this waste. But I am actually one who says that when the government, the federal government and the state government split welfare and Medicaid and food stamps, the states need to be responsible for more of that because the Federal Reserve and our debt is financing the federal portion. The states will have to be more fiscally responsible because they either have to raise taxes for benefits or they have to be more conservative with who they apply to. So I'm for looking at the entitlements, the waste, everything, because it's such an enormous problem that if you put military off the table and you put entitlements off the table, all you have left is 16% of the budget. And if you eliminate that, you don't get anywhere close to balancing the budget ever.
No.
So while I'm for getting rid of the waste, I'm for looking at every bit of spending.
Yeah, and Senator, very quickly, the Pentagon, which I mentioned in the Angle, I mean, there's so much waste and so much duplicative initiatives inside the Defense Department. They fail the audits year after year. You've been on top of this, but Republicans, frankly, have been rubber stamping the Pentagon budget for decades. That has to change.
Right. And it's worse than that, Laura. Right now, the first budget reconciliation that the Republicans are proposing is to bust the Pentagon caps. We have military caps on spending that are still going upwards. The very first budget reconciliation that all the old guard in the Senate, you know who they are, they're going to bust the military caps with their first budget reconciliation. So realize we think we've changed things and we're going to get more of the same as the first budget.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Senator, you and I have been going around and around on this for I don't know how many years. You and I have been talking about this, but we'll see what Musk and Vivek can do to move those boulders up the hill. But it's going to be tough, especially in the Pentagon side. Senator, thank you for coming on. It's great to see you as always.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.